Now we will move to pathophysiology. So the contributing factors for the septic arthritis are hematogenous spread, direct inoculation, and continuous extension from adjacent structure. First one, hematogenous spread. Most common form of spread usually affects people with underlying medical problem. That means secondary to any disease condition, means if there is any kind of underlying disease condition of joint, as we can say that rheumatoid arthritis as discussed earlier, so it can affect more. Second one is direct inoculation, may result from penetrating trauma, introduction of organisms during diagnostic and surgical procedure. Example, intra-articular injection. Direct inoculation, it results in penetrating trauma, as we are penetrating some sharp objects in the body, and if there is any kind of misleading to the procedure, so it can lead to direct inoculation, and then it will lead to septic arthritis, as bacteria can invade into the body if there is any mishandling during the procedure. Direct spread from the adjacent bone, more common in children. Osteomyelitis usually begins in metaphyseal region, from which it breaks through the periosteum of the joint. Now this is the bacterial case that contribute to septic arthritis. Now what happens? As the bacteria invades into the body, our body starts a defense mechanism against the bacteria. So what happens? As the cell in our body that helps fighting these bacteria are WBC, also known as leukocyte, are an important part of immune system. This helps fight infection by attacking bacteria, viruses, and germs that invade the body. So here also WBC will fight against the bacteria that affects the joints. As bacteria invades, WBC in the bloodstream are released, and WBC originate in the bone marrow but circulates throughout the bloodstream. And where the bacteria is present, the count of WBC increases at that particular point and starts diminishing the bacteria, or started engulfing the bacteria of that particular part. This is the work that WBC does by being a macrophage or acting as a B cell, T cell, and then engulfing the bacteria over the body or wherever the bacteria is present. Now we will move to clinical features or sign and symptoms. The sign and symptoms that we can see is increased body temperature, pain in the knee or affected joint, redness of the affected joint, and inflammation of the affected joint. Symptoms that are seen in children are children becomes irritable, they are warm, that means temperature is increased, tenderness, rapid pulse, and refused feeding, and loss of spontaneous movement of the extremities. Signs of hip infection. Also we can say that sign that will be seen when hip is infected, so cannot bear the weight on affecting leg. The leg which is affected, the person will not be able to bear the whole body's weight on that particular leg. Fever more than 101 degree Celsius, and blood test. In blood test we will see that there will be more WBC count and ESR count in the blood test. So these are the clinical features of the septic arthritis. Investigation. How we can find that a person is suffering from septic arthritis? That is blood investigation. First will be raised white cell counts. That means WBC count will be raised. Why WBC counts will be raised? Because the process of engulfing bacteria is done by WBC. So where the bacteria will be present, the amount of WBC will be raised, and that will be seen in blood investigation when we are taking the synovial fluid from the affected joint. So there will be presence of WBCs in that particular area. Raised ESR and CRP means raised erythrocyte segmentation rate and C-reactive protein. Third is blood culture positive. Blood culture will be positive. When we culture blood, we will see that there is presence of bacteria in that culture, and bacteria colonies will be present. So that is why blood culture will come positive. Now imagining test, X-rays. In early stage, we will see that it may look normal except widening of joint space. Ultrasound helpful. In early stage, we will see that it will look normal, but only there will be a widening in between the joint spaces. Late stage, narrowing and irregularity of joint space may have changes of adjacent bones. MRI and radionuclide imaging are helpful in diagnosing arthritis in obscure sites such as sacroiliac and sternoclavicular joints. Third is synovial fluid analysis. Synovial fluid analysis is done in the affected joint. The joint which is affected, the synovial fluid from that particular joint is drained out and is imagined or is analyzed for any kind of bacterial presence, or we can find out which kind of bacteria is affecting that particular joint. These are the findings that comes when we do X-rays. That means there will be cartilage loss, there will be very less space between the joint, and bones will be spur, means that bones density will be lost as compared to the normal joint. X-ray finding, when there is a normal joint and abnormal joint, we can see that a normal joint there will be a proper space in between the two joints, but if there is septic arthritis, means that synovial fluid will be lost and synovial membrane will also not be present, so there will be grinding in between the joint, so the loss of joint space we can see clearly. We will also see the widening of joint spaces. This is the first part, or we can see when septic arthritis is just started, this kind of X-ray findings are seen. Later stage, we can see that narrow joint spaces from loss of cartilage. Now what happens in later stage, cartilage starts to get lost and the space between the joints get narrowed. This is synovial fluid analysis investigation, in which the synovial fluid is drained out from the affected joint. Now we will see the synovial fluid analysis. What is seen in the synovial fluid analysis? When the joint is affected and is doubted for the septic arthritis, synovial fluid is drained out from the particular joint and then it is imagined. So what are the investigations that could be seen? If the process is normal, WBC count will be less than 150 and the color will be colorless and viscosity will be high. If it is non-inflammatory, WBC count will be more than 3000, color will be straw yellow, viscosity will be high. If inflammatory process is started, WBC count will be more than 3000, color will be yellow and viscosity will be low. Like that only we can see all the readings that is seen during the septic arthritis cases or any other kind of cases. Treatment, first priority. The treatment will be done according to the priority. So first priority is aspirate the joint and examine the fluid. Second, general supportive care, analgesics and IV fluid. Splintage, antibiotics will be given as it is the infection of the bacteria. So antibiotic is very helpful for diminishing the effects of the bacteria in the body. Antibiotic is given IV for 4 to 7 days, then orally for 3 weeks. Complication that occurs during the septic arthritis. So first one is bone destruction and dislocation of the joint, especially hips. If treatment is not done in 24 to 48 hours, cartilage destruction. Third may lead to either fibrosis or bone ankylosis. Fourth one, in adult, parietal destruction of the joint will result in secondary osteoarthritis. Fifth, growth disturbance because joint will be affected. And sixth one is presenting as either localized deformity or shortening of the bone. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you all understood something about septic arthritis. If you would learn something, I will be very grateful. Thank you for hearing it, for listening it. Stay safe, stay at home.